of introducing a young lady that I've known for a number of years. This young lady started out in a Ford store in PA, started out as a switchboard operator, worked up to warranty clerk, to service advisor, to service manager, to service director. She's one of the most respected service directors I know. Her name is Ruth Tomczyk with Esserman International out of South Florida. Please welcome Ruthie.
Lee, thank you very much. It's certainly an honor to be here at the forum today. And my topic today is going to be high-performing service BDCs. And BDCs are business development centers. The first slide I want to talk about is the name of the program that we're here today. We're talking about innovations. And what the quote I love is, every great innovation is simply a solution to a problem. The issue that we wanted to address in our service drives when I came in about 10 years ago was just simply that we were busy. And it's a great kind of problem to have. Our issue was that we wanted to keep the advisors engaged with customers on the lane. Now, when I came in, I had a consulting background, and I wanted the things that the dealership wanted. We wanted sales and gross, we wanted CSI, we wanted more traffic, and we wanted client retention. But my frontline people had a little more pressing issues. I heard this quote one day when I was out in the service drive, and I can certainly understand the quandary, right? Hey, boss, do I answer the phone, or do I take care of the guy in front of me? And again, we were blessed with being busy, which is a great thing, but when we really started to think about it, what message am I sending both to my people and to my clients? Right? I want the clients to call, but if I don't answer the phone, I mean, that's a problem. So, and it really wasn't fair to my people either. If I overloaded them to the point of exhaustion, then again, we needed some help. So we hired some people. We had a sales BDC. We asked for help with the manager of the sales BDC to help us staff a service BDC. We had a young lady answering phones in the service department previously, and she was pretty talented. But when we had to add help and expand this to assist the service advisors, we found the quote that's right there on the top. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So we had to figure out how to help the young ladies that we were hiring. I have a picture there of Anna. Anna is one of the young ladies in our BDC. She's a college student, hence the little pink backpack there. She does a great job for us, but we had to give them all the tools that they needed to get their job done. And again, if the ultimate goal was to help alleviate the phones from the service advisors, we had to give her some tools to be able to alleviate the phone from the service advisors. We asked her to take appointments, we asked her to schedule, we gave her some simple directions, but what we found is that most of the questions that she was being asked, even to do something as we perceived simple as making an appointment, she would have to call the service advisor and say, hey, how much is this? Hey, the customer wants to know how long it takes. Hey, it again was a problem. So we really had to experiment with scripts. We really had to experiment with some tools. And again, getting back to my consulting days, I also wanted to drive the proper behaviors. I wanted that room to be productive. If we're going to have that expense, I wanted something to measure and really show the logic for having those additional people. So we came up with some scripts, and we finally, in the end, through a pilot program through Acura, partnered with a company called Blueprint. And again, there are different companies. I'm not saying this is the only company, but this one really helped us a great deal in giving us strategic responses and giving us a call guide. And you may notice up on that call guide, yes, it's in Spanish. We are in Miami, so most of our call center personnel are bilingual. Again, getting back to the young college student. One of the things that Blueprint gave us in the way of tools, and this really was the game changer for us, was a knowledge drive. And the knowledge drive is just this. 20-somethings, which most of the young people we hired for our BDC are, they know how to Google. So we made up a knowledge drive where they could just Google the question that the customer had. Now, are all the questions in there? No. But a good portion of the frequently asked ones are. For instance, how much are brakes? And if the client calls and asks how much are brakes, we want to give them a strategic response. Now, is the number in there? Yes, the number is in there. But what we wanted to train our people is that, let me ask you a question, Mr. Customer. Why are you asking how much are brakes? Have you had a factory-trained technician look at the vehicle? It's possible it could be something very simple. If you'd like, I'd be happy to make an appointment for you to have a factory-trained technician look at the vehicle. And by the way, Mr. Customer, we never charge to do a brake inspection. So if you bring it in, I'd be happy to schedule that as soon as today. Now, isn't that much better than calling a service advisor? In most cases, my service advisor would simply give them the price. But again, we wanted to give these young people the tools, and we have much more control over what's being said in that room. So that's helped us a great deal. Also things like, the scripts and the outbound things, super, super helpful. We had to employ technology, again, to get the measurement pieces done. And also, up at the top, you'll see Call Rater. Call Rater is simply a means for us to grade the scores. And on the on the inbound calls, we actually listen to those calls. We let the clients know that we will be recording them for quality control. But then we make sure that the level of service that the call agents are giving are what we expect. Our BDC tracker logs inbound and outbound calls. We use a MyTel phone system. They log in and out of the system. It counts the number of calls. It times the calls to make sure that they're not rushing through a call or spending too much time on a call, which, believe it or not, happens occasionally. Xtime is our appointment system, and it also acts as a CRM for us. So with Xtime, we have their daily duties popping right up on the screen. So we have that loaded into their day, and when they pop in, they're getting their next call queued up, and we keep them going. We also have a backstop. Now, if we have the young ladies and the young men making outbound calls, there's going to be a chance, certainly, and we hope so, that the inbound calls are coming in, right? So we needed to make sure that if they were tied up with an outbound call, that inbound call was handled. Key performance indicators. Again, what gets measured gets results. So we wanted to make sure that we gave them goals. And you'll see Gail's, I apologize. Key performance indicators. You'll see Gail. Gail's our Business Development Center manager, and she's pointing at all the measurements that we do during the day. We have a dry erase board. She's tracking during the day. Every night she sends all the managers a list of what they did the day before. We want benchmarks. Like Bill said, we all want goals. We all want to achieve, and that's the type of people we want in our BDC. And we certainly want to train to that. So also shop loading. I put a note down at the bottom about shop loading. One of the benefits that we got out of this was to spread out the day. And a lot of the BDC agents and a lot of people that answer the phones just take what the customer says, hey, I want to come in the morning, because we've always trained them to come in the morning. But what we found when we started to train them and let them know what things could be done later in the day is we became more productive by spreading out that day. And next to last is the measurements. You see the BDC tracker, which is the reporting, and also the call tracker. The call tracker are the scores and making sure that they are, again, the BDC agents are giving a good level of service, but also the reporting. And we went from 2,600 outbound calls in January to over 14,000 outbound calls. And again, we want to make sure Call Tracker keeps them to the scripts. Now, did all of them result in an appointment? No, they did not. But we also, we've had some issues with data. We've had issues with knowing when to reach out to the clients. It's certainly a work in process for us. But even if we get a small percentage of them, it's more customers that we had that if we didn't make that outbound call. And again, the data thing, it again is a struggle for us as well. We live in a high lease market, so we're finding that we're not doing a great job of cleaning up our database, so that's something else that we've done in our BDC, and being able to clean that up a little bit and make both our mailing and our outbound calls a lot more effective. Lastly, follow-up. And I love the name of the form that they gave us, and that's What's Not Perfect Yet. So we have meetings. We started years ago with Volkswagen. We call them 10 at 10s. So the managers and a few shop foremen, maybe a parts person, we get together and talk about what's not perfect yet, what opportunities we have. If we stubbed our toe when we made an appointment or didn't schedule a loaner car for a customer, or when do we schedule, or if there's a new recall out and hey, the parts are not available yet, or the parts are available and here's how long it's going to take. All these types of things, if we keep the communication levels up, if we keep training our people, we're going to keep working until we get it right. So thank you for letting me share today.